Okay, so tonight is ham radio night, and it's ham radio for my truck night. And although it seems really dark right now, it's actually not very late. I just live in Washington, so it's dark at 6 o'clock. Anyways, like I said in the previous video, am a new ham. So I decided I need a new radio in my truck. So I got some stuff. The radio is actually still on its way. I don't have it yet, but I have an old one that somebody gave me that works pretty well. But I need to still wire it in, put a new antenna. So I have a couple of things I need to accomplish tonight. First of all is run power. It needs to go straight from the battery through the firewall to the center console. And then I need to run the antenna. So that I'm going to mount off the side of the hood. Got a bracket, got a small cheap antenna, and I need to run that through as well. I'm not sure how well that's going to work. The antenna cable came with a connector already on it. Might be too big to pass through the firewall, so I might have to cut it, get a new PL259 and solder it on. Either way, we're going to see tonight. So let's dive into it. Okay, so I haven't done anything yet. All I have done so far is identify how I'm going to run these wires through. I've run wires through firewalls on several different vehicles. They're never easy. This one's actually one of the easier ones. So right here, just behind the battery, I have actually found a grommet that has easy access. So I got my little camera here, see if I could get a good video here. Okay, so there's that grommet right there. See if I can do it right there without blocking it. And through there is a space right into the cab. Real easy. Easy way to find things like this is I just took my headlamp here, turned it on, shoved it in there, one side, and looked to see where the light came out. So I'll do that real quick and show you what it looks like. So I'll just shove that right in the hole there. Come around underneath the dash, since I know it's up here somewhere. And you may not see, but right there behind my emergency brake setup is that nice access. And this is one of the easier ones I've ever had. So there's the access right there. And then I just have to run it behind everything and to the center console here where I'll mount the radio. I have a thick 10 gauge wire, which I think is a bit overdoing it for what I need, but if you go too small, you get too much heat, you get resistance, it might not be able to power the radio. So this should be good enough for a 45 watt radio from what I've read. My radio is only 25 watts, so I think we're going to be good here. So I'm going to start by running it before I hook anything up. While I'm at it, I'm going to run the cable for the antenna as well. And luckily, this space is plenty big that the PL259 will fit through. Alright, back to the inside here. And if I look correctly, I'm hoping to see there's a red and kind of going back the wrong way. There's the black and the coax. There's my three cables. I should have plenty of all three of these. I think this job this evening might be a little easier than I first anticipated. So I'm going to just pull plenty. And I can pull it back later if I need. So there's plenty of wire in here now. It's going to be sitting here. Light there. There's my center console. It's going to be mounted up underneath here somehow. I'll figure that out when it comes to it. The wire's going to have to hide behind everything and go. And I think I got plenty of all three. Alright, back to the engine compartment. Okay, so the ground wire is now attached, and as you can, maybe you can see here, it's actually not attached directly to the battery. For the ground wire, it actually goes to where the main power cord grounds to the chassis itself. Most cars, they put that right on the side, somewhere really easily accessible. For some reason, they tuck this one down behind the battery. So way down there is the one screw that grounds out, and it was kind of a pain in the butt, a little harder than it should have been, but overall not terribly difficult. So I was able to get that done. Next, I'm gonna take the positive and put it on that lug. I need to find a nut for that. I think I should have a spare one inside, and then they'll both follow back. But first, I'm gonna go inside and make sure that the ends of both of these wires are taped off, just in case they accidentally touch each other. Positive. I'm positive this is gonna work. So it's actually now the next morning. I forgot to do something very important. Luckily, someone pointed out in the comments, said, hey, you really should have done this. I knew I should have done it. I actually didn't even have the part last night, but I forgot to install an inline fuse. So right here, nearest the battery as I can, on the positive lead, I'll be installing an inline fuse. Okay, there we have it. I now have my fuse in place. I'm going to just clean all the wires up with zip ties like I didn't have last night, and that's it here. All right, positive done, negative done. I'm going to pull the slack on the inside and tidy up these wires. All right, those are all tucked away nicely here. Now I'm going to switch over and work on this antenna. Okay, so here's my antenna. The lighting's really bad right now, I know, but it's going to mount right here on the side, and it's going to hopefully stick out from this hood. So I'm going to shut this hood and see how it looks. See if it fits. So it looks like there should be plenty of clearance there. Might have to bend it a little to get it vertical. Okay, so the install of this is pretty simple. I already got my connector on here, and let me just pop off this antenna real quick, show you what this connector looks like. Let's get some light on it and see if you can see this here. So this is a pretty common antenna base. It's like MNB or something like that. Can't recall off the top of my head. I'll put it in the text here. But it's a really common base. It's used all the time when people just want to drill through their roof, stick something on there, real sturdy. I don't want to drill through my roof. The headliner on this thing's a pain. I don't want to have to deal with it. I don't want potential leaks. So I got this little L bracket here, made just for this application. It's going to mount on the side, inside of my hood here, and it's going to stand up. This is a really short antenna, which I know for this type of application it should be taller, but it has decent reviews, and it was cheap. And two things to know about me: first of all, I'm cheap. Second thing is I don't have much money. So I'm going to put this antenna back on. This is going to be our sight to see how level we are. I'll snug it up proper later. And this is real official here, as in I'm putting it where I think it looks good. Okay, so I have some self-tapping sheet metal screws that I hope are going to work. If not, I'll have to pre-drill. Self-tapping is nice though. So this base has 3 screws, and I'm going to start by putting it as level to where I think it is level, and putting the center screw in, or putting in one of the screws. Then I'll level it out. I'll actually put the lowest screw in, and then I'll side it in, level it out, and then put the other ones in. Hey, look, it worked. It's a miracle. Okay. Alright, stand over here. More or less level. Okay. Just a little thing. I used to live on a sailboat. I worked on boats all the time, and I guarantee on every project I lost 50% of the screws from dropping them. And in some sailboats, bilge is very deep. It's no fun. But I'm good at it. I always buy twice as many screws as I need, though. Alright, I got the lowest 2 screws in right now. I'm going to go ahead and close this hood again. I want to make sure that they're not too big. And it appears that we're good. The cable squishes in there a little, but one thing I'm sure of, though, I'm sure that I'm not fitting the 3rd screw in there. It's just too tall. It's going to be right about where that seam is. So it's very sturdy here, though. So I think I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm going to call that good. Now I'm going to open this back up, pull the slack, route it real nicely, hook up with the old radio I have and see what happens. Alright, so I got all the cables routed pretty well. One thing I forgot were zip ties. Very nice for cable organization. I'll come take care of that tomorrow. I have some hidden, not quite sure where I put them. So I'm done in the engine compartment. I got my antenna hooked up, I got my power hooked up. So I'm going to close this off, head inside to the cab. Okay, so here is my previous temporary setup that I had just put together to see if I could get anything going. This is an old ICOM radio. It's a IC22A, or IC122, 228A, that's it. And it works. It works all right. It's connected via this cable to a magnetic antenna on the roof. Unfortunately, that antenna is about 800% rust, but it still worked. I was able to access our local repeater here, one that's used. The biggest issue, though, is I had this plugged in via cigarette lighter plug, going through all the systems, so there's all sorts of bad stuff that could go there. And you can see I actually already disconnected part of the power because I didn't want to deal with that. So I'm just going to totally disconnect that now, and I'm not going to cut these wires just yet. I'll tuck them away here in a little bit, coil them up, make them pretty behind there, but I want to get everything set up, get my new radio, which should be here early next week, and then cut everything to fit. Just abundance of caution here. Okay, so everything seems to be hooked up. I'm going to go the lazy man's route. I'm going to message a friend and just see if he hops on the net real quick, and I'm going to do a radio check. Okay, just heard back. Looks like my friend Steve is near a radio. He's actually the guy that got me into this, so let's see if I could catch him here. N4RVE KI7HNU.
KI7HNU. N4RV. Whoops, hang on. Please scanner. This is N4RV. You sound much better. Good signal.
Thank you, KI7HNU out. There we have it. It's clear. It sounds good. It's connected directly to the power and the antenna like it should. Now I just need to clean up a little bit of wiring so I could actually drive my truck. Okay, so I just had a successful test call with my friend Steve. That's N4RVE. He has a really cool project he's working on, which is his boat called Data Wake. I'll put a link in the description. He has a really cool setup, and he blogs about all his stuff. This is the antenna I was working off of before, which, you know, at a distance looks all right, but if you could really see, it's actually all rust. I'm surprised it even stayed on my roof, but it did, and it worked for some calls, so that was good. But now I'm done. I'm all wrapped up. I'm going to bring this in home. I'm going to see if I could clean it up. Maybe it'll work as a good backup. I'll leave it around. This unit's going to stay in here a few more days until I get my new one. Then I'm going to mount it right up under here. Probably won't put that in a video. It's going to be 4 screws and a little bit of wire. But so it's going to look real nice just sitting right there for you. So that's all for tonight. I do have another project I'm going to be showing you real soon involving my motorcycle. And that's my next really cool one. So I'll see you all soon.